Yeah. Yeah. Skip, right. I'll just edit it still. So yeah, some podcast. Man them there still. Dandeeds, aka Cockney D, aka Dirty in the building. What going man them? Man them good?
Yes, yes, yes.
Cool.
Blessed,
Blessings.
blessed every time.
Bless. Cool. Yeah. So from the phone, blood. Let me know who you are, yeah, and just your occupation still.
Yeah, yeah. This is Dwayne, also known as Skipper. Um, Occupational wise, I'm a skimmer slash plasterer, taper. Um, what else can I add to that? Yeah. If I was going to talk about how my week's been, it's been a blessed week. Um, this week I've actually been trying to put some business plans together, which Courtney, I'm gonna come and sit with you because I might need your help at some point. But yeah, that's about it really. And yeah, and can't wait to dialogue and see what we can get penned down. I'm saying for the future of our people still. Get me?
Cool.
Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. Jay,
Yes,
say,
yes, yes.
just mindful of your mic as well, yeah? Just bringing me with me, little. Don't move too much, yeah? I'll just shout you, yeah?
Alright,
Alright, cool.
me.
Jay.
What have I been on this week? For those who know me well. Usual gym life, as always. When I say gym life, that's just managing in the gym as always. Um, Not really been training this week as much due to a little personal injury and stuff like that. But other than that, just work, bro. Work, man. You know how it goes. All day, every day, improving my people's fitness and health, man. That's how it goes. That's the job.
Alright, fam.
Yeah, me, drugs. Boy, this week, what have I done? Just working, uni. I just started uni this week. I'm start
Yes,
obviously
drugs.
next week.
Yes, drugs. But
But other than that, I'm just chilling, family, looking after my Mardies and that. That's about it.
Good afternoon, good evening, people. My name's Gavin. Well, boy, my occupation right about now, I'm a student studying business and tourism management. My week's been all right, actually. Chilling with the kids, you know, one of them. 'Cause I've not just got one kid. I've got, what, four? So, yeah, can't complain. And then, obviously, last night I had a great night. Uncle's birthday, you know, seeing them milestones. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so this week we're going to talk about family. What is family? What experience have we had lately that's, you know, had a good effect on us with family? You know what I mean? Some of the things that we feel that we can improve on, especially with family and how it sets and just a general talk around family settings and issues. Now, most of us are family anyway, even if we're not blood related. We're family in a sense, but the majority of us is still. Jay, where's you? No, no. You can slide in still because I know you're from Brom still. So, but yeah. Last night, Uncle's 70th.
Yeah, big thing.
I came. I was there early. I tried to be on like a proper time.
On time.
Yeah, like doors open at 8. I was there at like 8:30.
Yeah, you were still there when I got there. Still.
Yeah, but I left about 10 to 10 because I had plantation to do. But the vibes looked like it was building up. You man were there all night or more time still in it.
Yeah.
Skip, what time you was there till?
about about 1 o'clock, about quarter to one.
Okay.
About quarter to one. Yeah.
And at that time you was there, what's the vibes like for you?
Oh me. Listen, I've got it that I had to go, you know. So yeah, that tells
Mm.
everything. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice, bro.
But you man,
Just like
sorry, go on.
just seeing all like your mum, you know, all the aunties. You get me? Music playing, vibes in. Yeah, man, it was nice. It was nice.
Mm. You man were there more time still. What was it saying? As a
Yeah, the vibe was good, man. Everybody was enjoying themselves. It made enough for the youths, them, all the grandkids, and everybody was in there get to see everybody. It was nice.
And
I
it's
tell you what took me aback though on that night there.
Mm.
And drugs was out there at the time. Seeing drugs talking to a youth, and I'm looking at the youth, and the youth's proper, like, yeah. And drugs looked at me, so I'm looking at the youth thinking, right, who's this youth? In my head, drugs must have
Moffed.
seen the look on my face.
Moffed.
Nah,
Hey, that
was it
guy.
Moffed?
Nah.
Oh.
Nah. The mixed race shoot with that afro.
Oh,
And then
yeah,
I think it was
yeah.
drugs looked at me and said, yo, Swift is sunless, you know. I said,
You just
what?
knew.
I said, who? He said, oh, Swift is sunless, you know, blood. I'm looking in the shoot's face saying, Ras, I've never met you, though. You get me? I was like, nah. So when it comes to family, I was a bit, like, rah. Cause obviously, I've never met you. You get me? I know his sister. Cause he's saying, oh yeah, my sister's. Well, why's her name flew out of my head?
Latifah.
Latifah. I'm saying, his sister Latifah. So how come I know Latifah? I don't know you. He's like, oh no, because I'm not. I was the one that, you get me? I was the quiet one, the one that was hidden, kind of thing. You get me? And in my head, I was like, you know what? I can't cuss. In my head, I was thinking, I probably had a role to play as well to reach out and make sure man kind of, you get me?
Yeah. I hear you saying still.
Link out and reach out kind of thing. But yeah, it took me a back, I'm looking at him thinking, rah. The man's 19 or 18, I think he said he was. You get me? And it's like, right, 18 years and I've never met you. But your family. Yeah, you're just like, well, you get me? Well, you always get that in family parties. When you see some people, you think, wow, that's my cousin.
Yeah.
You get me? Well, yeah, it took me back a bit. I was like, right.
And that's the kind of opportunities where you do get to meet other people you don't know, and the only reason they are there is either a family or family of a friend. But we grew up in a small circus, and for people that don't know that, the Brown family and everyone on the branches of the Browns in Manchester, we've got a good tribe. Do you know what I mean?
Massive.
And linked up with the Bells and the Roswells, and it just goes stupid then. Do you know what I mean? And
it goes nuts, bro.
Yeah. And man, like, I was speaking to Naf before, because he's obviously spent a majority of his 20s on holiday. And man, like Swifty, we were talking about, he has spent holidays, their holidays. You get me?
Incarceration.
All the time. So that means that we wouldn't have time for him to come round and bring his youth them round for us to get to know them. But the opportunities are coming in now, and we can do that stuff. But just for the man, then, what is family? Because it seems like it's inherited burden. Like, you can't choose your family. I keep on hearing that. But sometimes I go through things with my family, and I see people in their family where they're more closer with associates and friends out there. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because they don't really, they spent so much time with family. It's like, I don't know. I prefer to be myself around other people. So what is family, and what should family be? Anyone can start with this still.
I am a firm believer of, I used to believe family was directly, like he says in it, like your cousins, because I'm from a big family in Bromley. Like, my family's kind of big, and we know a lot of people, and we know a lot of families and stuff like that. And like, we have a lot of aunties, cousins, and all of that stuff, like most families do, and that. And I used to think that, your family directly is just those that you'd see on a regular basis, like those that you probably see at family parties at your nan's or somewhere like that. The main central link up point on it are the family, and anyone that used to come there, that's family.
Yeah.
As I've grown older, I've realised there's a different meaning to family, because I have some friends, and we're not blood related or anything like that, and I would say they're like good family to me, and I'd class them as family, just like I'd class my blood brothers and sisters as family. So I think as you grow older, you define the word family to what it means to you, people you hold close to you, people you trust, people you respect, people you have respect for, people who, I don't know, can probably help promote and guide you in the right way, and vice versa. That to me is the more what I see family as now. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your blood, so to speak, but it can be those people who have an influential input on your life to me. that's family. That's my opinion. Anyway, I don't know what the man them think anyway, but that's my opinion.
Right. Well, for me, saying that because I've come from a big family background, and it's like there's a lot of people where I can say a sort of like extended family where they're not bloodline.
Yeah.
But you'll say, I'm a direct family. We don't have that connection, but me and him have that connection, or me and her have that connection. Do you know what I mean? Where
Yeah, I know
you
you're
say,
saying like you class them as cousin just as much as you class your auntie's daughter or son as cousin, but this person might be your mum's friend, close friend, but you've been
it's just
raised
how you've
to call
been.
them auntie, so that's your cousin, innit?
Yeah.
Man, ask you on the road, yo, who's my man? It's my cousin, fam.
So that's the sort of, how can I put it, the respect side that you've kind of got from your parents. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When someone comes in the house, how you mean? Have manners.
Yeah,
Or your uncle or your auntie, and you're looking at
Yeah.
them like, but how? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where as we've got older, we understand it was a respect thing. And as you've grown, you see how they've respected you. Because till this day, there's bigger man to me that I can walk down the road and they're still hailing me.
Yeah.
Saying, these man remember me running around in nappy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's certain youths of today where you're thinking, they've not got that family instinct because the old generation's kind of withered away. Do you get me?
Okay, then. Back into what you're saying there with that, though. I feel that whole respect thing, and like you says, you were like, if someone came in the house, if you was at your nan's and one of your nan's generation, someone she was good with, come to the yard, like you said, you
Aunt Sally, you get me?
exactly.
Aunt Sally.
Uncle Peter.
Yeah, man.
Uncle
you have to say
Cuthbert.
hello.
You get me? Whatever you have to say hello and respect. And I feel that was something that kind of stemmed from, because you got to remember, most of our parents and grandparents and stuff come from the islands, whether it be Caribbean, Africa, wherever your heritage is from. So I feel more time when they came to England, because they were still in such a small group of community, it's like, well, yo, my man's from the same
Parish
or whatever, so I would know his family from the same parish, and I can kind of remember him from the same parish. So now that we're over here in this country, we're still seen as two foreigners in this country. So better we stick together as a unit, as we're two foreigners trying to fight the system in this country. So I feel that was where it stemmed from. And the respect behind it was there as well, but I feel it stemmed from that as well, just being like, yo, you're from the same parish, I'm from the same parish, and black people are not liked as it is over here, but we're over here, so let's try and get along in the system. So, yo, I'm going to look out for you, you look out for me. And then from it started from there, it's like, yo, well, treat that person like your auntie, and like you said, instead of respect calling that person by their name, it's, yo, that's uncle such and such, that's aunt such and such, and rare. Yeah. And then it's stemmed down, and I feel, like he says, with this younger generation, kind of like those younger than us and stuff, I feel where us in ourselves, we've kind of let that slip. And because we've kind of let it slip in a sense where we've not kept on it as much as our mums and dads would keep on it and stuff. Maybe because it's how we portray that level of respect, or giving that level of respect to people now. Like, I think more our generation, and then the last generation to hold that level of respect. Every generation underneath us now, it's like, well, I ain't giving man respect unless he shows me why they deserve to have respect. Yeah. Where before it was just like, yo, respect
standard.
Man, innit?
Yeah.
You get me? Man can come in your house and sit down and eat or whatever, and they're older than you or whatever. Show that level of respect.
Yeah.
And I think that's faded, innit?
Yeah, of course.
And that's probably down to the community and just whatever. But
I mean, it could be a number of things that it evolves out of. Do you know what I mean? But the fact that I'm thinking about that level, we're identifying it, but at the same time, I'm saying to myself, what level was I on in terms of that, where we would question nothing? I don't know if because of fear, but we used to like listen to our parents. If we was told something, the respect, and we was given orders and we followed them. Do you know what I mean? Now there's a choice for a child or whatever, to ask the question, like why, and I don't know. They've got choices. I don't think we had the choices. No, you know what I mean?
We didn't have the choices.
And you know what? Having choices isn't a bad thing. I don't think having choices is a bad thing, you know. But when I look back and the fact that we never had no choice, and then at the same time knowing that everyone that give us no choice, only had the best interest for us, then if I was to have a way of teaching my youth them, I'd rather make them have no choice than have the choice. If you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying having a choice is a bad thing, man, but if you've got the best interest for your youth them going forward,
You're supposed to listen.
what's not broke, you don't fix. You get me?
So I do hear what you're saying, Skip. Yeah, I feel more.
Yeah, man.
I feel what you're saying about the having choices and not having choices. I just feel when we were growing up, we had choice and we didn't have choice, but we had choice within the option of what was around us and what was available to us.
And there wasn't much available, and there wasn't much, so you had no choice, you know them ones.
Yeah, we didn't have that much, so there wasn't that much to have an option and a choice to. You either did or you didn't, simple as. Now, there's 20 million options every week.
Yeah.
They're trying to question something that for years we've been told is black and white, or you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
and it's mad just saying that, because even when it comes to something like boys,
that's what I'm saying. And that now, like exactly what Drax just said. Then you can question every answer. Like you can go and if you're not sure, you can go online and question something. And then if you still don't believe that, there should be something else to question that. And you get what I'm saying. And you're constantly asking a question for the question and keep asking questions for the question. When really and truthfully, it'll be like, well, maybe it's just this, and maybe it's just that. Which do I want to accept?
But that's how they teach in school now. There's nothing's answer. Nothing's wrong. You can do this or you can do that. You can do this or you can do that. That's why the brainwash they used to think that you don't have to be right. Nothing's set in stone anymore. But when we were growing up, it was set in stone. You did this and this would happen. If you didn't do this, you will get this. This is what will happen. Everything had a consequence for your action. Now, everything's not like that anymore. It's just like, well, you can go that way or you can go that way.
It's like it's the opposite now, isn't it?
I get what you're saying. It's like they tried to encourage freedom of speech, but then they overly went liberal with it instead of saying, oh, we're encouraging freedom of speech, but we still want you to have some guidelines of a parameter of, do you want to do this or you want to do that? Because I hear what you're saying with the whole schooling thing.
In school...
Do you know what's clear? You know what's clear as well, as I'm hearing you talking? Right now, the family's under attack. They're under attack, bro. There's a war going on, fam, yeah? That if you're not on it, blood, you know, we're not going to be flexing like you were saying about with the grandparents and so on and so forth. If we're not going to keep that foundational understanding concerning family, we're going to have these people teaching our children some madness, blood, where we're going to lose the youth. You get me? Our whole thought of family unity and things like that, but it's just going to get thrown out the window, fam. You get me, car? The family's under attack right now. I'm talking from the man and the woman, children. You get me?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Skip.
You know what I'm saying, fam?
I know what you're saying. Like the ideal of a family unit is under attack.
It's under attack, fam. It's clear. You know why? Do you know why I say that as well, fam? When we look at the like our grands, look how we grown Cockney. Yo, there weren't a summer that we didn't power up. There weren't a holiday that we didn't power up. G. Yo, you know what I'm saying, bro? There was always a base or something. You know what I'm saying?
And we had not. We didn't have a choice.
We didn't have a choice, bro. You get me? Yo, we had to, blood, but now it's like the government are cutting funds here, so there's no hideaway, there's no bases where we can all come together as one. You get me, blood? And then they're teaching pure madness out there. So, yo, it's clearly under attack. But again, having this discussion, it makes us kind of sit down together and say, all right, then, how are we going to build our foundation going forward in terms of family?
Yes.
You get me? Is it gonna consist of that same support and love network and, you know what I'm saying, confiding in each other, trusting each other, you know what I'm saying, moving forward as a unit, you get me? Or are we going to let these people dictate and break down you know what I'm saying, the family home kind of thing, you get me?
Yeah, I hear you. And I think what you're talking about is a conclusion solution in terms of from the discussion we're having. We're trying to identify what it was used to be, how we felt it was, what we agreed and what we didn't agree with at the same time as of now. So I've heard Drags and I heard a few you talk about online, the school and things like that. So clearly there's an issue that we've let go of our family ways and handed them over to the government, the schools and things like that. Or is it because the way that our family was raising us, the so-called a bad way, a toxic way, that we had to change it in order for us to grow, because we developed a family
But the
thing.
system, the system put that in everyone's head that getting beaten was wrong.
Right.
Yeah, but
Right.
beating
'Cause I was
is
going to go there, drugs. I'm glad you've gone there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's where I
hey,
was going to go.
That's basically what it is.
yeah. All right, Skip,
We
you
got
can
beat.
talk. Go on. And
We
then,
got beat as kids as a way if we didn't do what we was told.
Yeah, as a
discipline.
form of
And
discipline.
some people might say it was wrong. Some people might say it helped us in life later on in life. But now it's insisted. You cannot touch no kids.
yeah, but what
That
I'm saying
true,
is,
and that's true. But then I also think it boils down to a thing like what Skip was saying as well, with the whole attack on the family, and like you said, drugs, with the whole where the beating slipped and it was less physical, more verbal, which for some people it was needed, because some people were treating their youth like it was Fight Night 7 and that, and like
Yeah, it's right. Some people
going a bit too
don't have the
extreme
right to have
with
kids
it.
in
You
the
get what I'm
first
saying?
place.
Like
It's
we've
true.
all been, I'm sure we all can remember that one beating. We were like, "Yo, is the parent trying to kill us here?" But yo, we're alive.
Yo, damn, Skippy.
You get me? But we won't talk about that.
But we're all here still,
You
innit?
get me?
You know?
We're all here, exactly. But then that's the thing. We're all here. We can laugh and we can joke about it. But now we look at it like, obviously,
You don't want to put your kids through it.
Yeah, you don't. You wouldn't put your kid through it, because you, as much as you know, that was a lesson to say, "Yo, I fucked up." But at that moment, as a child,
Right.
you didn't know that what you was doing, or didn't see
Was
or
wrong.
deem what you was doing to be that bad, to have that consequence.
Repercussion.
To
that-
justify-
and
yeah, to justify the
repercussions.
beating.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like now, where we've developed in time and how life's developed and technology's developed and all that, I feel it's easy for us to say, yeah, we can blame technology, which we can do, but then I also can look at it as well. Maybe it was easier to have the foundation that our nans had, and everyone once a week you go around to your nans and all that, because back then there was more time for that. Like our nans had more physical time, our parents had more physical time, and that with work and all their work patterns. Now everyone's working. Like,
Yep.
you're barely getting a time to sit down and rest. So when you do get
Right.
that time to sit down and rest, you're trying to cram everything in this short time
everyone's
frame.
used to
So
be off on a
something,
weekend.
so something's gonna lapse. So then, if you're a parent with a child or two kids, then you know, all right, then if I get a job, I've got to get a job between. It's got to start after I drop them off from school, and it's got to finish before I pick them up from school, or can I afford to put them in after school club, which then means if I'm putting them in after school club, that's going to cost that a fee. But then that
Working
means I
for
might
nothing.
have to work a little bit extra to make sure I can balance after school club money. And you get what I'm saying? So then once you've got that child home, and then you're rushing to get them into the routine of getting them to bed on time. So I feel with everything's accelerated in life now, where back in the day, I feel there was a slower movement.
Slower pace.
And a
Yeah,
slower pace. So
definitely.
because there was a slower pace, we had more time to do these things. We had more time to bond. We had more time to get together as a family, like go on family trips, or go on just having a family gathering at someone's house. And it didn't have to be a birthday or whatever. It was just, yo, we're all gathering at Nanny's house to cook up our food on a nice Saturday, because we can and we want to, and we want to see each other as a family, and who can make it, who can't make it, can't make it.
yeah, I hear that still.
And that's what I feel as well. I feel like the advancement of life itself and the pace of movement of life has also hindered the family.
Yeah, the way everything's
Yeah,
evolved,
yeah.
innit?
Yeah.
And growth.
Yeah. So Ski, you were saying about losing and being at risk in terms of where we're at, and because we kind of was talking on about, it sounds like a righteous beating. It wasn't just a beating for no sake. You know what I mean? It was all, the beating was right in the time. At the time, it didn't feel too good, but in hindsight and reflection, it was a righteousness. What do you think's happening now, and why, and not why it's missing, but what's happening replacing of that? Because some people would say, and I would say, it's good not to beat your child, because, you know what I mean, you must talk to them. It's at different times. We've inherited a certain way of doing things from what our parents inherited. You know what I mean? They got beat to stay in line, and their parents got beat because they didn't pick too much cotton. Rah, rah, rah. Do you get me? Kind of inherited still. But I'm hearing you kind of say, well, like when Drags are speaking on it, like, yeah, you're on point with that. What's your take on the whole discipline. It's a discipline thing because in family you have to have discipline. So
Yeah, and you know what? To be fair, there's levels, so you don't necessarily have to be beating. And I just look at it like this. Right now, my youths, especially with daughter, she's taking it to places where I'm like, yo, you due a beating. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep her in line. You get me? You due a beating, blood. And do I have to? And the question is, do I have to beat her to discipline her? Not necessarily, but at the same time, blood, it seems like they've got no ears nowadays. So a little tailing. There's nothing wrong with it. You get me, bro? There's nothing wrong with it. It keeps them in check. But I say that because this is where we're kind of losing. This is where we're kind of losing the youth them. Because if man didn't know, I'm a scriptural man. I'm a scriptural man all day. And there's a scripture that says, "Don't spare the rod. Don't spare the rod on your youth them. Don't spare it, blood. Because why? If you don't lay it down, yeah, at some point during their life, they're gonna run amok, G. You get me, bro? That's what we're seeing nowadays, G. The youths them are running amok, fam. You get me, blood? And for me, it's about chastening. It's about chastening them now. You get me? Because really and truly, it's gonna affect them more in later life. You get me? I keep telling my youth, yo, don't lie to me. I pull her lips when she lies, and things like that. I just twist her lips and say, listen, don't lie to me, because you see, when you go out there, there's going to be no one to protect you when you're going on with all that. You get me? And if people were to put that on you because you did something, and you get me, then it's going to be down to you, bro. But I'd rather chastise her now, so when it comes to that time, she can make that choice and go, right, you know what, don't go down this road, Joe. I remember when I was with Dad, and Dad used to do certain things if I went down a certain road, so these people ain't my dad. These people could probably kill me. One of them ones. You know what I'm saying? Where with Dad, that you get a beating, and after it, you can get a hug and a kiss and a squeeze, and you get me. Don't do that again, baby, because A, B, and C. You know what I'm saying? Well, hey, yo, if I don't do that now, bro, listen, we're gonna lose the youth them, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm with drugs where it's beating time. You don't have to be too hard. You don't have to be where you're getting wire out the curtain, and no man they need to get beat.
Put it this way:
you don't have to be a Hoover piece over the head or a brush, or you get me, bro. You don't have to go that far. But I'm saying discipline's key.
Like I say, that is one key thing, Skip. That's what I will say. Like discipline and semi-authority. When some of these youths hear your authority in your voice, and they hear that, whoa, the levels go up. They see a different, do you know what I mean? Like, because I've got the youths and I have to say it to my little son, and the middle one, yo, he's challenging. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, wait, my more laugh at you. So these youths are shrugging off things like it's a joke. I'm saying, what? You give them two fingers, like my man's absorbing it, like, yeah. You get me? But when you shout, it's like, wow, okay, so there is different sides to it, because there is some kids where you might need to give them that little slap, and there's kids where you don't have to, you just need to use your voice. You get what I mean? And the understanding, you get me? And then there's them youths where I'm saying, why your voice, your hand ain't making a difference. Do you get what I mean? So you're always going to have that battle, regardless.
Definitely, like, to back what you're both saying, and that, like he says, for some youths, it can just be the tone of how you say things. Like, I know I'm old school, innit? Like, I'm old school. I would want to, like, when my youths want to step out of line, I want to give them the little backhand, like the little kiddie, don't do that again type, little smacking and telling off. Their mum, she's more verbal now. She's more verbal, and she studies kids, mental behavior and all of that, and criminology and all of that. So she's taking, I wouldn't say she's necessarily taking what the books are saying to her, but she's
dealing with that psychological way.
Yeah. Like, so she's looking more into the psychological. So by now having the aspect of understanding the psychological now, it's then making me remember, okay, when I was at this age and I stepped out of line, that was necessary. And I think that's where we've lost the grasp, like, going forward. Like, a lot of parents with their kids now and that, they've lost the grasp going forwards with, like you said, Skip, you know your daughter's getting to a stage where you might have to give her a little beating. Like, a lot of parents get to that stage and miss that stage. And then because they miss the stage, once it's missed, it's a snowball effect, like Gav was saying, because you've now missed your chance to put down your authority, whether it be verbally, whether it be slightly physically or whatever. You've missed that authority mode, and now they're running amok slightly, and then whether they're around associates, friends, whatever, and then they see this friend they've missed, their parents missed the mark, and they're running around, and now their parents can't control. Now that child's now a sponge, and he's like, my bedroom goes home and can do this, and I know I've got away with that, and normally I would have got a shouting at, and now that's slipped. Let me push this. Yeah. And now they'll push it a little bit more, and push it a little bit more, until the day you want to turn around and then you draw the line, but then it may be too late, innit? And at that stage, they're either too big, they're either too tall, or they lost the level of respect where even doing the physical don't help no more.
Now it's a physical fight, it's not just a beating.
And it's not a beating no more. It's gone to the point where you're like, right, am I going to have to physically doing this person? Like, it's someone on the road that I don't like. And that's the thing. I think a lot of parents miss that. And it's not missing it down to fault. It's not missing it down to poor parenting. It's just genuinely missing it. Which it's a small golden moment where you can miss and you think, I'll let that slide. And maybe that wasn't the day you should have let that slide. Maybe you should have just, hey, listen, don't try that shit again. And let it bounce, you get me?
Do you know what? Because like I showed my daughter, it's not, say where they miss it, it's, you might miscalculate. Like, my daughter, she should have got beaten when she was younger. But people would say, oh no, she's all right, she's cool, she's cool. But now she's older, she'd be like, no one beat me now. No one's ever beat me. That's how in her brain. Because she used to get told off, and the voices used to work. You get what I'm saying? But in her brain, she's got used to the point. Well, why? Everyone says they're gonna beat me, but I've never actually been.
It's an idle threat.
Yeah. So now she says, everyone says that, but it never happens. You get me? So that's in her brain. She feels like,
she's
as much as people say it, it's never actually gonna. You could scream and shout, but they're never gonna put it. I don't know.
Programmed up that level of respect.
And she's of her age now. She's gonna get licks. She's gonna get proper licks because you're 12 now. So you're gonna get beat. So her mum's in that rage mode now, where they get into arguments because she thinks that she can argue with her mum because her mum give her that right all the way up there to where now her mum's losing her keckle because she wants to bust it because it's the little kids that are coming up, they're following, but they're following earlier because they're younger. Do you get what I mean? That's how it goes.
And now that's the problem for the mum, because like you says, because she missed that earlier and you missed it slightly earlier, and she got to that point where she was like, yo, no one can't touch me now, innit? She got that air of confidence. It's like, yo, no one can't touch me. And now she's at that level where she's like, yo, you didn't touch me then, so yo, I'm untouchable now. So then the minute the mum turns around and says, nah, you're going to get the hands.
Yeah.
And then puts the hands.
And they're getting the real hands now.
The dramatic effect of her putting the hands is going to be so much. She's not going to understand it. She's going to rebel against it so much. She's going to be, I hate my mum, my dad, this, and then she's going to lash out against it so bad that it's going to be so dramatic, it's going to push her either further into wanting to rebel, or it's going to make her realise that, well, what did I do to realise I've literally hit the breaking point? But at first, she's going to be like, no.
But you see what you said with the friends?
Yeah.
Because she's in a like predominantly white school.
Yeah.
A lot of the shit that she's getting beat for, her friends can do.
Yeah.
So she's in her brain, she's like, why am I getting beat for stuff that everyone else is doing in school?
Exactly.
Like, everybody else can do it, but I can't do it. And that's a problem.
Yeah. Ski, I'm gonna let you land now, but I just wanted to add on that point there, because I'm mentoring a youth right now. He's had to move out of the area. He's living up with white kids, and his mum phoned me and says, between me and you, because she's a black woman, and she goes, between me and you, when he's kicking off and tearing up his room and doing all these things, he's 14, you get me, going on 15, he says to me that, well, my white friends can do it. Do you know what I mean? They do that, and he's a learned behaviour. So that's just to kind of go exactly with what you're saying, Drags. But Ski, land still, because you were saying that you had a point around that, all that, yeah?
If you don't mind, I'm just going to read you 3 scriptures, bud. A lot of people dismiss. Listen, a lot of just, it's just on the topic. It's just on the topic.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, go on, man.
Have we got consent from the room?
Yeah, please.
Yeah? I'm just saying, because this is consensual environment. There's no taking advantage of the vulnerableness of open minds, and trade something. I work with it. Yeah. Go on.
On the topic, so I'm not gonna slither outside the topic.
No, I know you won't. Yeah, I know.
So
that's cool.
I'm gonna read free blood. So it says, chasten. Now the word chasten means to beat. It says, beat thy son while there is hope, and let not thy soul spare for his crying. Yeah, so beat the youth. You get me? Whether he cry or not, blood, beat the youth. Why? Because, one reason why you're beating him, you're not beating him because you just want to beat him. You're beating him because the man's done something, and he's going to have to know that correction is needed. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Second one for 1 second. It says, withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Blood, you're going to beat the youth. He's not going to dead. He's going to wake up tomorrow. And let me tell you more time still, sometimes the youths forget about the beating, But you see, when it comes to that time where they've done something, hey, what's happening now with my daughter? Yeah, I'm a littlest one. You see, when I chastise them and they go back to go and do the same thing, whether it's the day later, they look at me first. Blood, they look at me first, fam. Like to say, yo, yeah, is he looking? And I just look at them, and then whatever they were about to do, they don't do again. You see what I'm saying? That's only because I'm on them. You see what I'm saying, fam? Yeah. But they ain't gonna dead. Here's the next one. It says here now, foolishness is bound in the heart or the mind of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far away from him. Blood. Foolishness is already in the youth them. We have to beat the foolishness out, family. You see what I'm saying, blood?
That's another fact. Yeah.
Your scripture's just telling you, and here's the last one. It says here, train up a child in a way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Now that's just basically saying, listen, if we keep these fundamental dealings with the youth them concerning correction, concerning the rod, and things like that, let me tell you something. See, when they get to a certain age, they can only look back and go, yo, even if they were good up until 12 and they were on par up until 12, and then between 12 and 17, they're out there. See, by the time they get to 17 and they've experienced certain things, they're going to come right back to where they were at 12 and go, yo, the things that dad did, or the things that mum did, it was right, blood, because pure foolishness out there. But if you build that foundation from now, they'll always come back. They'll always come back to that foundation. Well, that's why. That's what to read them for you, just to show you that. On topic.
No.
Scriptures lay it down, blood.
No, it is still. But then I'm going back to the foolishness that's already in them. That mean, I don't know.
How the foolishness is in them, blood.
Yeah, but where the foolishness has come from?
No,
because remember, we've had them from
mind. You're not born with knowledge.
Exactly.
So you are foolish when you're born. So you grow out of foolishness.
All right. So that's what I'm saying. But you have to remember, look how much foolishness we can look back on, and we've grown out of it now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when we somehow the foolishness was allowed to grow in us. You're saying, Drags, that we were born with foolishness.
In the sense of not like we're dumb and stupid, but we are. Because you don't know how to speak, you don't know how to walk, you don't know how to do anything until you learn these things. So
and curiosity is in us.
So we do things by mistake as an infant. Like you will touch fire, and once it burn you, you'll never touch it again. Because that was the learning of the lesson. Because it was foolishness to touch it, but you're learning in it.
Exactly that. That's a good point, blood. Exactly that, blood.
Yeah,
and that's the foolishness. But obviously, you have to. Go on, sorry, go on, Connie.
No, I'm just saying that what we had was the thing of, we were told, we had influences and guidance around us that will tell us, pre-warn us, pre-sign us about certain things, and it's foolish of us if we didn't want to listen.
Yeah, but that's like as we get older. But like as a child, if you leave a child in a room like this, on his own, his foolishness is going to make him do something
even
wrong.
If you tell him, don't touch that.
You have to train that out of the youth, them to say, don't, you go in people's yard, don't.
Exactly.
Like, when your mum says to you, don't touch people's things, that's not yours. Because she knows as my son, he's going to touch it and break it. I know how foolishness he is.
Like how you just said that, do you know what's mad about these new age kids? Because I swear down, I could see my son now. If I don't say nothing to him, he will not do it, bro. But if I say something to him, he's saying, you've said it now, so I'm going to have to do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like the testing your patience.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Everything's a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, okay then. So that's where the management is hard to manage that sometimes because kids, like you said, we're foolish. We do things. I remember things what I done as a kid where it's like, why?
Why did I do that?
I knew the crayon's not allowed to go in the fire, but I just wanted to see what it would do. Do you get what I'm saying?
Stupidness, I used to do that all the time.
Lighter and LYNNS spray. I just wanted to see what it would do.
I've seen it happen before.
Till I got the hole in my armband that told me don't play with them things again, innit?
Gav, didn't we set the yard on fire?
Yo, there you see, there you go.
But yeah, nah. But like. But then back to what you're saying, Skip, and back to what the scriptures that you were reading was saying, and that and everything. Like it's not for the scripture. It was portrayed and described as foolishness. To us, it's not foolishness. It's just that sense of adventure, that sense of wonder, that sense of mischief,
curiosity.
The curiosity. That's exactly
Curiosity.
what it is. Curiosity. And that's what it is. And kids are full of curiosity because at the end of the day, like we all know, our kids are a miniature version of us. The good traits and the bad traits.
Yep.
Yeah. So even down from looks down to personality, everything is a combination of both parents. Yeah.
Yep.
So you've got to also remember when you are disciplining your youth, or when you want to discipline your youth, or how you disciplining your youth, look at the youth you're disciplining, because I guarantee you, if you got one youth, then your youth's probably going to have more a mixture of both parents. If you got more than one child, you're going to look at a child and say, this child's more the mom's
like
personality, but looks like me. And this child more looks like the mother, but has my personality. So that child that's doing the stuff that you know you used to do as a youth, take that into consideration when you're applying the discipline.
But that's me. That's why what he's saying is 100%. Because certain times when my baby mother phones me and says, I'm like, wow. Yo, I used to do that. I can't even. She's like, why you not saying nothing? I'm like,
in your head, you want to bust up and laugh.
Yeah, because I'm like, yo, I've done that. You're under pressure.
But drugs, in your foolishness, tell me you never got beat.
I got hellas. This is what I'm trying to say.
You got hellas, bro.
When man said, you don't forget, you forget some of the beatings. I tell you, some of them I don't forget. Like, I got some serious ones. You know what I'm saying? That they're in the memory forever. Bro. But
you get me?
I grew, like, everyone used to say I was bad when I was young. Yeah, maybe so. But now I'm not so bad. So them beatings must have done some type of good some way or not. Do you get what I'm saying? But then my daughter now, actually she's bad, but she's not getting the beatings that her mum's trying to beat her now. But I think it's too late. Do you know what I'm saying?
Too late, bro. That tree bark strong now. You get me?
There you go. That's like you just said. She's you, but where you had that early rectification and was like, nah, not around here, not on my watch, and was getting the fist up from early.
Yeah.
She got away from the fist up. So now,
and she got
when the fisting up's coming, it's like, well, rah, you get me? It has no effect, or it's a shock thing, and it's like, well, why are you being like this and all of this? And then, like I says, I feel it more boils down to the fact that, like you said earlier, is you can't touch your youths now. And like I said, the reason why you can't touch your youths now is rightly so, because certain people abused it, and it always goes the way in it. When certain people take something and spoil it and take it to the extreme and mash up the
minority, or we spoil it for the majority.
Exactly,
always the case,
and that's what happens. And then, like, you got to remember, because it's like beatings and stuff like that, like we've said, and we're not trying to single out race or make any race look worse than others or whatever, but beatings is something that's a majority surrounded with people of colour.
Black.
Not just black, because Asian people beat their youths too still.
Right.
They make youths disappear.
You get me? Exactly. Whoa. Yeah, but anyway.
No, real talk. There's a whole program about,
exactly. It's true, but it's true.
Yeah.
As much as we shouldn't laugh and joke about it, it's true. They take that discipline to a whole nother level. But, and then, like he says, like, so I think it is because there's a minority of one or two black people and brown people or people of color that abuse the whole disciplining of their kids, how they discipline their kids and stuff like that. That's why it had more a dramatic effect. That's why it was more seen, you can't do certain things. And then if you've done certain things and you got caught doing certain things, the repercussions were so hard. Because come on, like, let's think about it. We all know and we've all heard of stories of neglect where black people have neglected their child and the child died or the child's been ill-treated and laws and stuff have been changed and stuff like that or it's come on the news and stuff's been looked into and stuff like that. That's fine. But let's look at how many times there's been systematical stuff where white people have done the exact same thing but it's just gone under the radar.
Do you know what it is?
It's once it's come out in this community because it's so known
publicized
for that community, and that then they're like, well, because that community is doing it, and now that community is overstepping the line. Let's control the whole thing for everyone, and let's control the minority. And like I said, even though we're not the minority in numbers, we are the minority in the system. So being the minority in the system, when we do something wrong, it fucks it up for everyone.
Yeah, you see, I thought it was, you see, when we used to be young and we get beaten, certain things we get beat with belt or we get beat with whatever instrument we used to get beat with, that was just a standard thing in an ethnic minority home. Yeah. But you go to a school and you say those things out to the teachers and the people, they see that as an abuse. Whereas we don't, because I don't think a black kid comes to the teacher and says, I've been abused. My mum was, you have asked me, I got beat. I got beat. Like, and to me, that's a standard thing.
I was going to say, to back that up, sorry to cut you. Like you said, you could have went to school knowing you got beat the night before and had a little mark from the belt, like a little welt. And it would go, and the teacher would ask a question, but it'd just be like, oh, I was naughty and I got a smack and it'll go under the radar. But now, because of there's so much, like you says, the system and everyone's being watered down and we got to take
social services that you do in the morning.
They're teaching teachers to look out for these things.
Like which isn't. It's not a bad thing that teachers shouldn't be looking out for these things.
For the
like
abusers,
you said, for the abusers, yes. But then, like you says, it's where they over police it. They go from, okay, let's police this situation to, okay, let's over police the situation. There's no common ground in it. There's no middle point.
Like, for example, what Skip said, bun down the yard. Yeah, the licks you're supposed to get for that is the licks you're supposed to get for that. But if you go into school now, wailed up, they're going to be like, what happened? Oh, my mum beat me. They're not even trying to hear that you burnt down the house. You get me? They just, your mum beat you like that. Look at the marks on you.
And even then, when you turn around and say, oh, I got my ass bust because I nearly burned down the house, it's not,
it was an accident.
You deserve to get your ass bust because you nearly burned down the house. Why was you left alone with a lighter?
Yeah, they take it to a next level. You get what I'm saying? I'm like,
shifting the blame back to the original source, which is not the person that created the issue that was being rude.
It's because we was being bad. We found the matches and we did this. They're not trying to hear all that.
You knew where the matches were kept in the drawer because you see your mum going in there to light the cooker every time to cook. So you took fast, went in the drawer where the matches are, took the matches out, knowing what matches do, then took the fucking crayons or whatever you took, then knowing that this shouldn't be done, then done that. Then like there were so many stages, but like you can't then turn around.
You see what furthermore to that? You see you as the parent when they come to them and question them because they know we're bad picnic. Their attitude is so distinct with the people. They're like, what are you talking about? And then the dialogue there don't come along quest where they're not deal with. So they just like, oh yeah, look at she's very angry.
Exactly,
and
aggressive.
And they just put it down before social services involved. And
because
that's
the
how it
teacher
works.
doesn't know the parent. The teacher only knows the child, so the teacher doesn't know the parent's personality.
And he knows your behaviour in school, not your behaviour at home. It's always different.
Exactly, and that is what you said. The behaviour at home compared to certain kids' behaviour in school is two different things. Yep. I've got two youths, mate. My youths are like, I always hear, my son's 8, my daughter's 4, and I always hear that, oh yeah, your kids are beautiful, they're wonderful, they are so helpful, they're this, that, this. The minute they come home and they step in that house, they're arguing with each other, they're fighting with each other. But if I go and touch my son, my daughter jumps in and she's like, yo, you can't touch my brother, and she's throwing punches and bums. And
that's my too as well.
Vice versa. If I start messing with my daughter and that, he'll jump in And that's a level of discipline where they know, like, yo, even though that's my parent, that's my blood in it. No one should harm my blood. And if they do, it's my responsibility to step in line.
Yeah, they should
and that's
do that.
respect and discipline and go. And it
And
boils
you
all
see how
down
you've
to
got
the
that,
family.
if they do that in school, they'll find that as a problem.
Yeah, which it has come into a situation at school where my son was playing with a kid, and my daughter's in adjacent playgrounds, and my daughter misread the situation.
Came over and gave
she
that
was
hands.
on it. She was on it, come over and was ready to fight the little boy in that, and then my son's like, no, it's calm, it's cool. Like, you get me? We're messing about. It's play fighting. We're supposed to do this. And she's like, oh, cool. But as far as she's concerned, someone's hit her brother. She's seen someone hit her brother. Forget school rules. Forget everything else. I know my parents told me we look out for each other.
And that's how it's supposed to be.
And
like,
that's the conflict.
They don't
the conflict
see that.
between what you generically pick up at home and what you pick up to take out in the outside world there's a massive borderline of what society deems right, because throughout the years society is always watering down things, or always making things, oh well, you can do this but you shouldn't really do that, and you can tell someone off but you got to be mindful of how you shout at them, or you can discipline someone or tell someone off in a work situation for poor performance, but you've also got to watch how you say it to them, because you also got to take into consideration their mental health. Like, if someone's doing a job and they know the job role and they're not living up to that job role, then I should be able to criticize them for that job role and be like, listen, come on, this is the job role, sort your shit out. This is what it is. If not, these are the lines of action we should take. It shouldn't be then because I've said this or I've said that, or I've got to watch how I say this or watch how I say that, and that's the problem.
Well, I think we're to blame. You know what I mean? Because with school and us, like if I like one time they asked me like sometimes you're innocent and I was an idiot. Like, what's wrong, Daniel? Oh, me and my brother had a fight, and they must have phoned my mum, and my mum was like, "What's going on? It seems like there's an issue." But that counselling, but there's something wrong, and do you know what I mean? What's wrong? And then my mom's like, I says, no, and I just told them the truth, innit? And they asked me a question. Yeah, and then I had to learn that you can't say certain things
around
in certain environments because they'll use it against you, like what man is saying. But at the same time, I feel like, oh, okay, here's another, I just want to move on to another question. We're the last kind of topic because we're only coming up to an hour still, yeah? And I think we've had a thing, but we'll talk anyway. But in terms of how important is it to have the right partner, or is it that you have the partner you have for your child and you either work with it or you don't? But how easy as a man would you find it if you and your partner was on tune more time when it comes to balancing with the children? Because obviously let's not get stupid, it's their children. They have them more time. Sometimes we can feel in a relationship, or if one breaks down, that they're my kids, I look after all the time. But at the same time, it's our children as well. But from as a man's perspective and having the right or the insight to have access to your child to influence them for whatever reason, how important is it, or do you feel it's just a matter of co-parenting can work? So I don't know, is it important or is it just a myth?
For me, it's very important. I'll tell you why. The discussion that we're having now, especially when it came to the kids and discipline, there's one thing that came out of that, and I said it to you, Courtney. When it comes to family, outside of, like, for me, I'm trying to build my immediate family structure before I can even try and even build outside of that, if you know what I'm saying? So, like, for instance, Courtney, my kids and your kids, not even really
they don't par.
Yeah.
If it's like a Christian or something, they don't par.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's crazy, because really it should be the case. But I'm telling you something, bro, right now, I'm trying to get my house in order, if you know what I'm saying. So it's for me, it's important that I've got the right partner, because a house divided against itself, it falls, bro. If the house is divided concerning how you bring up the youth, then whether it be eating habits, whatever, you know what I'm saying, if it's divided, bro, and we're not reading off the same page, blood, let me tell you something, man. It's for me, it's disruptive. It's so to have so going back to your question, having the right part for me, it's important. It's important, even if it brings a fair balance, because me and Tam, yeah, we have different parenting skills. It's like what MJ was saying before, where his missus is psychological, I'm a little physical. You know what I'm saying? But it gives a good balance. So on that subject, it can kind of work. You know what I'm saying? But when you're dealing with family and partnership, there's many facets of a relationship that need to be on par. You need to be reading off the same hymn sheet. Because if you're not, then it's beef, bro. You get me? There's times where I've looked at Tam and I thought, I don't like the way you do your parenting, you know. But then I've had to not say nothing because I'm thinking, well, that works for her and this works for me. So if we've got a nice balance, then we're not really going to catch up in no argument on how we're parenting. You get what I'm saying? It's all right, then you do you, because I know that works for you and it works for the youth them. And I do me. And we've actually sat down and talked about that, and we've both just come to the consensus, and it was just like, yeah, you know what? Big shout, because then she ain't going to look at me in no way, and I'm not going to look at her in no way. You get me? And as a partnership, as a civil partnership, we can get cracking, have a fair balance, and be able to just bring up the youth them on a par. So for me, yeah, two people can't. If two people don't agree, then it's not going nowhere. It's not going nowhere, fam.
Or it'll be harder.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it'll be harder.
It'll be harder. It'll be much harder, bro.
Definitely what you're saying there.
100% harder.
Yeah.
Well, definitely
Hold
what
on,
you're
bro.
saying there.
Gav, I want Gav to land still.
Well, yeah, it
I
is.
know you got a tribe.
No, well, why? Obviously, when you got kids in separate households, innit, that's when it does kind of make it difficult. Because if you can't have a relationship with your ex-partner that you've had a kid with, yeah, and you can't communicate, but then you with your partner that you're with, and you got kids in that household,
it's gonna be a lot harder because
it's a struggle. Do you know what I mean?
Set that up with, you've got to kind of please the person's feelings that you're with now, as well as still be respectable to the old person's feelings. So you got to deal with two people's feelings when the general consensus is you just want time with your you.
There you go. And that's the bottom line.
Bottom line is the full. Sorry to cut you. The full consensus is both of you want what's right for your kids.
Yeah. And the main thing is, like, a lot of guys that ain't around with the ex-partners, or they don't really see the kids, so a lot of women will say you're part-time dads, but to me, you can still be a father. Do you get what I'm saying? As long as you can find that balance and you can work together. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have to be in a household to work together as a team.
So like,
do you get what I mean?
Nah, I hear what you're saying, because like one thing I openly, like me and my partner openly sat down and said from the very, very, very beginning was, before we even had kids, once we knew it was serious that we were potentially looking at having kids, it was a thing that we always said that, yo, no matter what, like, we'll always have equal input on raising the kids, and we'll take into consideration each other's situation. It should never stop me from seeing my kids, regardless of what goes on between me and her, whatever situation. I'll always have access to my kids, and we'll never argue in front of the kids. And that was a massive key thing for me, and that was never arguing in front of the kids, because I look at my kids as sponges, bro. Like, kids are sponges. They're empty vessels. They pick up everything, and like going back to what we were saying about the foolishness and that. So if they're foolish and they're empty vessels and they're naive and curious, the environment they're in is going to mold them so much that it's going to create, like you were saying, Skip, where getting your house in line then creates that effect. Once you feel your house is in a certain situation, then, and the knowledge you install in that household environment, then your kids can go out and then be of a certain way, be of a certain mannerism, and then that will expel in them, and everyone will be like, "Rah, that's Skip's child, yo, such a good child that child is, raised right, and that's just going back to the original ethos that we grew up in, and that, so we're kind of, the fact that you've noticed it, the kind and acknowledge it, the fact that we're all individually in our own lives acknowledging it, the way we got, exactly,
the way we got cropped in it,
and we know what's right, and back in the day, it was a thing where we seen our mums. Some of us, our mums grew up as single parents for a bit or whatever, and we seen it, and we're like, oh, wow, we don't want that for our kids, innit? Because at the end of the day, we're the ones that we remember what it felt like when your dad didn't show up for certain things, or your mum and your dad were beefing, so you can't go see your pops or whatever, and we don't want that environment and feeling. So if we remember how that made us feel psychologically, then we've got to make sure we don't make that environment for our youth, and that's why being on level heading, whether you're together under the same roof, whether you're not, like, and that, like Skip says, that equal partnership in where understanding that this person's ways may be different to your ways, but the end goal is we're trying to raise respectable, decent human beings. And if you've got that, it doesn't matter whether you're together, whether you're separate, whether you're doing it with 3 people, whether you're doing it, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. As long as you all can sit down and say, you know what, bottom line is, we're trying to raise some respectable human beings through life, and that shouldn't be no problem.
Drags, do you want to land on this? Ski, if you want to say anything else, and then I've got one last one, just an ambition for me, and then we'll move, yeah, and then we'll lock off, yeah?
Yeah, well, I don't know, Carl. Right, my input disciplining my daughter, I do put input in, but I don't have full input. If you want to say, I don't live with her. You know what I'm saying? And her mum's got a fella and the other kids, so at the same time, she has to adhere to their discipline in their house, because it's my man's in the house, whatever, you get what I'm saying? So I can impose my discipline on her, but I can't come and change or whatever.
What's been set. Yeah.
They're like, because they're building their home, like what Skip said, they're building their structure and their home has to be right. And if I start putting my input in, that just breaks up their shit. And she's at that age where she wants that. She looks for me to be the one to stop whatever the plan is in the house. She said, Dad, can I do this? I'll be like, Mama, you dumb. I'm not dumb, but if she asks me for something, and especially if I don't have no context, and I just get a message, oh, can I go and do this? I said, if your mum says you can go, yeah, but mum. And she will flick to her mum and say, I said, she can go, or she can do this.
Trying to play the both sides.
Yeah, and I'm like, and then a mum will come in, oh, why did you say? I said, boy, I don't know what's going on. I just got told, do this. And I said, yeah, because if it don't seem unreasonable, I don't see the reason why. And then she'll come with, oh, she ain't done this. And I'll be like, right, well, it's not, that's your deal with it, innit? Like, I can't really get involved in that point. I've already laid my law. I've already said what I said. So I'm not going to go back on it. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, no, you can't do that. But I'm saying, if you say she can't do it, yeah, but that's the type of shit I deal with because I'm not there in it 24/7.
That's what I was saying.
So it's important in terms of importancy, in terms of your relationship, it's important to have a balanced communication at minimum.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
that's
with
her mum,
with the partner, parent or ex or whatever.
Because she's the one that if we don't connect, she will play the game.
Right. Okay.
Because like you says, isn't it? Like, you know, your daughter is thinking, yo, these two don't connect, and it like the connection's not A to B, it's A, B, and C. You get me? So she knows I can, in between A and C, I can say whatever I need to say to play off A and C. So, and with you, you're like, well, yeah, you're here, and the mum's at that point with, like you said, with somebody else, and you have to kind of respect their rules in their household, but then you also got and he's also got to respect that that's your and her child. So you've got to look at it as well. I understand their rules in the household, and I understand my rules and what I think's right and wrong in disciplining and how I want to discipline my child. Now,
that's another problem. You just said it then. He don't discipline her. He won't. He refuses to. You get what I'm saying?
But you can overs why he wouldn't.
I get, because I understand. I understand why. But then at the same time, when I'm getting the phone, I'm like, oh, and she will bad him up. She will just raw bad him up because he's not disciplining her.
Do you think it's your ex partner or his partner now hasn't given him the green light to that?
I don't know.
You know what though?
You know, because obviously, don't
I don't
touch
know
my
the
child. You just
I
you're
don't see. I don't know the situation, but I
No.
was thinking on those lines. But then I was also thinking maybe it's just a thing where, like you just said there, in a sense where he's waiting for the green light. Maybe he probably has had the green light, but maybe out of a respect because like he knows you,
Another man.
and it's
Yeah.
another man, and he's thinking, well,
Yeah,
yo,
that's
this is physically
'cause
not my use.
She
But
tells
then
him
I can understand
because I told
for
him
you,
if she disrespects you,
Yeah.
don't let.
I
I'm
was
not
just
saying
about
you to
to
put your
say-
hand on her, but tell her
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
disrespect you.
But I
But
was
he
about
just
to-
will not engage. He'll just
Yeah.
let her bad, and I'm just like, why?
because
That's
it's getting
not-
annoying for you
Yeah,
now
'cause-
because
and-
obviously you're getting a phone call.
Yeah, and she's
but-
like if I'm in someone's with someone and she's got a kid, I'm not gonna put my hand on no kid. But if he's stepping, because you're supposed to be the man of the house, so you're supposed to be guiding them to be adults.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to be showing her that's not right, or you're supposed to be able to put him out in and put some two
Right.
pences in. Do you get what I'm
Put it
saying?
this way,
Yeah.
I've been in that situation where my partner, her daughter, and she would have little attitude. Don't get me wrong, I got it. You're not my dad. I said, all right then. You know, the next time she asked me, can I have something? I said, I'm not your dad.
Dad,
Phone your dad. So it's not a problem because when I talk, I'm saying, right, you are in my mouth, yeah, but you can't take it when I'm telling you things. I'm not going to put my hand on you.
Of course.
When I'm telling you things and you don't want to hear me, I'm only telling you for the better of you because your dad's not telling you. So, hey, what? Go ask your dad. You get me? And it's simple.
Yeah, so it can play in both. It can play in both, and it can be
Yeah.
advantage or it can be a disadvantage.
Yeah.
But nah, I do hear you. Like I feel for my man, it's probably a thing where he, out of respect for you and just out of respect for the situation, and plus the age of the child, is like, well, yo, I'm not putting my hand, so to speak, on a child, or I'm not disciplining a child. I'm disciplining a young lady. So, and that. There, we know what it's that opens a whole different field, and he's just probably putting himself in, like I was saying, that you know where you want to start policing a situation or correcting a situation, but then you don't find the middle ground, so you overcorrect the situation.
But it's
So
like
for
what
him,
you
the
said.
overcorrecting the situation
He's
for
been
him-
there from she was about 8. I'd say probably before 8, but 8, yeah. So you've been there long enough to be able to say now, yo,
Yeah,
fix,
yeah.
dude. Do you
But
get what I
missed the
mean?
window.
Been
You missed the window, like we were saying. You missed the window.
Yeah,
if he's
but-
been there from 8, like that opportunity probably came around in the early stages when he was around, and it's serious. He's around like that. It's not just a boyfriend thing coming through when you're sleeping thing. He's around, and he probably missed that window because he didn't feel like, yo, it's
could,
too early,
yeah.
or I could say this or do that because I don't want to step on anyone's toes, or I don't want to. So then, because that window's been missed, now he's in the situation where he's in, where it's like, well, I can't do anything and I can't say anything because I never have, and I missed the time to. So, best thing to do, phone her dad in it, let her dad deal with it in it, because at the end of the day, bottom line is he can do whatever he wants to do. He can say what he can use verbal, he can use physical.
Yeah, and that's where
he's not
she's
wrong.
winning. You get what I'm saying?
He's not
bro?
wrong, and she knows she's winning that way. That's why she will probably create those situations.
And I
where
don't
she
know
can-
about the single parent living. You just
Yeah,
know my
yeah.
dad and mum been together from the dead dot. So
Yeah.
I only know your dad's there and he everything's being built in there once.
Yeah.
It's simple. So I'm living the opposite of what my dad did. If you get what I'm saying.
So you're trying to learn and do what you've learned from seeing the two people together in unison, to taking those morals, taking all that you've learned, to doing it still, but doing it from two separate points
As a single man.
as a single person.
You
And
can't
so
work.
obviously it's going to be hard and there's going to be wrongs or rights, but the whole point is you're still doing it and you've got the communication with your ex-partner to say, yo, okay then, boom, bam, bing, this is what it's going to be. And then you've got the communication with your ex-partner's partner to say, like, yo, bro, like I done told you, innit? Like, if they get to a level of disrespect that I feel,
told him many a
go ahead,
times, like,
go
don't-
aid. You get me?
Do
but,
not take
but
back
like I
at
says, it's
all.
that it's his level of respect for you, and that's gonna be something he's gonna have to get over. But it is what it is, isn't it? But it's good that, because most people don't have that, and most people can't have that as well, and that's the thing. And which boils down to the question: it's whether at the end of the day, the end point is together or not together. Whether there's outside parties involved on the different house rules or whatever, you've all got the same common ground, is you want to raise a respectable human being.
It's facts.
And that is it. From everyone has that same standpoint, and everyone can turn around and say, yo,
Should be great.
this is the finish line. when this person is of 18 or 21 and they can do this and start doing it and showing that level of respect and everything that we've poured into them for years and years and years, then we can relax. And that's the goal. Everyone should have that one goal and say, that's the finish line, and we don't stop the job till that finish line's met. Done.
Right. Okay, so now this is my last one for each man, and this is a kind of a fun, well, I see it's fun and being daring creative, because we live in reality. We don't like to dream, you know what I mean? And us as people that's in an environment where our reality is not really, doesn't reach too high, because it seems like we're not blaming each other, but the reality is like we ain't getting the same as everyone else, you know what I mean? And we have to move differently, and it's been hand for century. Yeah, but I was watching a trailer a few weeks ago. It was the Serena and what's her name?
Yeah.
Yo, I got emotional.
The Williams.
Yeah, because you know trailers, they'll put the music in there and we'll sing.
They
Or pulling your
know
high
what
streets.
parts to trigger.
You know what to trigger there.
Yeah.
But then I was looking on the actual principles behind it and the things. It's like, this man was allowed to raise his children how he wanted to, with no input of remember the school tried to come in and all the mum tried, I don't know, mum backed it. But if you had one, like with your children, not say your children now, or if you have children, whatever, and you had like that full autonomy, access to your child with no influence from no one, what would you like your child to become in this kind of world we're living in? And I'm asking everyone to kind of dream a bit. You know, let's get out of this, what they can be, you know, if the system. What would you like your child to become? Because I saw that and I thought, rah, if I had access to my daughter, my son's school was going to follow me. Like, either way, you know what I mean? But if I had access to my daughter and the way she is now, and if I could shape her, what she eats, what she watches, and she listens to me, and I had everything, I'm like, I think I would have her as, I'll have her as most likely, I think it's more like a warrior queen, and I know it sounds very Nubian.
You're dreaming, man. It's all right. You can dream, man.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to sound Nubian, Black Queen. But I think I would want her absolutely at her strength, fearing nothing and no one, and moving forward where she uses her love and nature to protect things, but at the same time, she ain't having there's no doubts about man or women or my mum. She's strong with it and then raised that. A strong leader and a teacher. So that's my one.
But I think that, I was just about to say, I feel that's what every man with a daughter feels that they would want slyly for their daughter. Like, we all want that feeling of our girls to be, yes, she'll be feminine, yes, she'll be the girly girl, but
very empowering as well.
Yeah, there's empowering, like he says, like there's that whole, she's a queen, but she will knock you out, and if a man try touch her bum and she don't want it, she'll bang man up and them things there. You get what I'm saying? Like that beauty and beast tendency in the one person, and still be a girly girl, still be feminine and all of that. Like, I feel every dad wants that for their daughters in some level or some dream fantasy, because I would feel the same. Like, I would say for me personally, I would love my kids to solely be about bodybuilding and just be on about bodybuilding. But then when I think about the whole aspect of it and how it makes me feel and how I've dedicated so much of my time to it and the pros and the cons of it, then I say to myself, well, would I really want my child to be as dedicated? Would I want them to push that much? Would I want them to miss out on having an enjoyment lifestyle? I feel I'd probably want them to achieve to a certain level, but I'd also want them to have fun. I'd want them to go and experience. I just want them to be adventurous, and all the things that I probably had fear in, turn around and just say to them, yo, don't have fear, just go for it. You fall and fail, you get up. Simple as.
So if you could shape your daughter to any way that you wanted her to be, I'm just saying.
Me personally, if I could, then I'd probably, because I just know what my daughter's like and I know her tendency. She's very much a girly girl, but she's got my personality, the mischief, the fight.
I'm talking about.
So me personally, I would probably want her to do I don't know, maybe something in the line of sports and push her down that sports aspect because it's what I'm like, it's what I'm passionate about. And I feel because of they've had experiences where they've been to my bodybuilding shows and they see the trophies and everything and they see the trophies and everything that I've got at home from my bodybuilding shows and stuff like that. That's give them a level of, oh, dad goes and achieves this, dad is this, dad does this for fitness, my dad's this and that. So it's kind of set a benchmark for them that it wouldn't be something that's contrary off what they wanted to do in their own life. But if I was like, well, you can do this, and then started guiding them down and pushing them and motivating them, they'd run with it, so to speak, like how he got them into the tennis and all of that. But there's a lot more into that story than we're seeing in the movie.
Yeah. The Hollywood always glitz and glamours it, but I'm just going off that dream. Like, yo, if I had my daughter, then she'd be doing this without no challenges. But no, drags. Yeah, like your daughter. Nah, just girls.
Girls.
Because remember, girls follow their mothers and they're their lead. So it's if we was giving
so for me,
go on, Ski.
Yeah, for me, just to be like a virtuous woman. Like, I don't know, just look at, a woman's role. It's like a woman's role. I'm thinking, if she can play that woman's role perfect, that's how I'd want her to do. I want her to be virtuous. I want her to be respectful. You get me? I want her to understand that she girls nowadays like to give away the flower too early, and you get me? Everyone's all up in the flowers, you get me? And I like her to, I'd like her to know that she don't have to be like that. She can be virtuous, respectful. And I think if she can stay on that line, I just pray that she finds a righteous, decent man where she won't have to fight, and where he can do that kind. She finds the right masculine man that will just protect her, and she just plays her role, and the man plays his role, and you know what I'm saying, fam?
Yeah.
Like,
where you coming from with that one?
Yeah, that's where I'd want her to be. I just want her to be virtuous, respectful, righteous, and just know her role and play it to the fullest, and pray that she finds a man that's equally on par. He knows his role. Play it, you get me? If it's protecting the family, if it's making sure you bring bread to the table, you know what I'm saying? From
I hear you.
Yeah. So that's where I'd want my daughter, just to play your role, your role. Okay. But I've got to obviously between me and Tom, we've got to teach her that role. And just play it to your best ability. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, that's with the setting still.
So if I had dream and I had full control,
autonomy from more.
She's going Shaolin. Till she's 16 to learn the ways of the 36 chambers. And then she's coming back, and then she's going to do a proper education, and then she can do what she wants in life, because I know I've set her in a foundation that ain't nobody troubling her, and she's educated. If I had full control, I've always wanted to. When I was a kid, I always said that if I had a youth and I had I'd take them to go learn Shaolin. I always wanted to learn Shaolin.
You're going to be Kill Bill, fam.
I always wanted to learn Shaolin. Shaolin discipline's different. You get me? You learn the fundamentals that the teacher in Shaolin. Your mind's different. You're wise as a person. When you finish that 36 chambers, you're a different person.
As much as I laugh.
Then she goes and learns normal education, and then the world's an oyster then, because nothing can defeat her.
Yeah,
you're right. Still, as much as I laugh and joke, I hear where you're coming from. Like that is and that's what you're saying there. That level of discipline, knowing that once she goes through that level of training, the level of discipline, respect.
She's not going to be out there fighting, because that's what the teacher does.
It's not about the fighting. It's about the discipline, the respect, the ethos of life, the respect of life, the planet, and everything around it, and all of that. That's what you want her to gain, that knowledge first. And then once you've gained that knowledge of who you are, why you are here, and your outlook on the world and what you portray on the world, then now go and get the so-called systems, scholarship.
Yeah, because if she wants to go make some money.
So then you can be a person who's of great depth in knowledge and respect and everything, and also have the paperwork to say, well, I've got this degree, I can do this, I can do that. So she's a double threat. She can tackle whatever. She can tackle things mentally think with just using thought process and just talking about things, or she can turn around and be, yo, I can go and crush this interview, I can go and crush this job because, yo, I've qualified for this and I can do this.
I think that would make a perfect. Her head would be screwed on. That's if I had full control. Cause I know my mum would never let me do that ever.
Now that's the same. Could only dream. Because with me, my daughter wouldn't be going in any system. She'd be thinking, how could I smash this system once and for all and liberate all of us and still be feminine and have children? You know what I mean? In the dream, you know.
And then like you said, like Skip said, and like you says, innit, do everything in one, innit, and having the role and still knowing that she can be powerful and be elegant and in the same breath, and that knock a person out but still go and cook up a mean food and stuff. And I feel as we're getting older and the generations after us have lost the understanding and the acceptance of the roles and see it as, well, for a woman to do this, this and this, then she's an idiot. Like, if a woman's cooking for a man and her man's out here doing X, Y, Z, then she's an idiot. Well, yes, she's an idiot because he's abusing a good woman. So more time, he's the idiot because he's abusing a good woman. But she's not an idiot because she's accepting that.
She's doing her thing.
She's yeah, exactly. She's not an idiot, so to speak, because she feels that, yo, regardless of what my man's doing on the road, I would like my man to come in and have a hot meal in his stomach. I'd like to know that he's stress-free, he's bathed, you get what I'm saying? And vice versa, like you said, the man should know that, yo, I'm going out there, regardless of how I'm doing it or what I'm doing it, I'm going out there to provide and protect my household, my woman, my kids, whatever. And I feel those roles now are now looked as, if you do one has to be more dominant than the other. And that's the problem with this younger generation. Nobody don't want to seem submissive. Everyone wants to be the dominant one. Everyone wants to be on top. And that we're in our generation and the generation before us and our parents' generation, our grandparents' generation, it was, like we says, that whole unity of knowing that this person can do this and that person can do that, but the end goal is get the job done.
Yeah, you. Gav.
Why? What can I say? The Black Shearer, you get me? Powerful with the sword, you get me? Why? Someone that she knows what she's doing, she knows what she wants out of life. Obviously, my daughter's soft and gentle when she's ready, but she's got that mean attitude, and she stink like her mum when she's ready. So, for me, that's it. Just someone that can handle herself, powerful, and knows what she wants out of life. Someone that's willing to help everybody else. Do you know what I mean? And bring something back, because she likes to help people.
Yeah, you know, I hear you still. Only because I just saw this guy like, right, you know what, I've got two girls. The others doing what they're doing, but they're athletic. Because all our girls were athletic when they were younger, you get me? Mm-hmm. Right, they're playing tennis. They're going to be the best tennis players in the world. And they made it happen for them, whether they liked it or not. And they kind of adapted to it. So I was just thinking to myself, okay, then, you know what I mean, we don't get to dream about these things because reality kick in. So, yeah, I think the conversation's been good still. Obviously, we're going to have another one around these topics, and we can probably talk on relationships and submissiveness and masculine and femininity and all that. You know what I mean? On a later date still. But any last points from any man still? Talk to me.
Any last points? I think I've just one point on the having the right or choosing the right wife in terms of compatibleness and being able to build as a unit. Yeah, it's important that we actually do that. Make sure that any woman that man get, she has that whole mindset to build. You get me? Not to tear down. Just build. You know them ones, whether it be the house, whether it be, if it's business, anything like that. If we find one, make sure we find it and it's a good one. You hold that, you keep it, and you build. You get me? It's important that as man and woman, we come together. It's one unit, and like I was saying about your family being under attack. If the man and the woman's together, reading off the same page, let me tell you, nothing can break it. Nothing can break it. So, yeah, just on that. Just, yeah, that's it.
I hear that.
No, definitely hear that. Definitely hear that. But more time, I say, as much as you, like you said, with the whole finding a good woman, I think just finding good people around you in general that can help promote positivity and moving forwards, and that, like, because obviously we're talking about family and not just, obviously family extends from you and your partner to everyone that you have around you, and everyone, like I was saying from the get-go, everyone around you should be having a positive and promotional impact on your life or that unit. And if you've got that around you, then you're on the right course. If not, then you need to look at how much time you invest into those people that are stopping you from putting you on your right course, and investing less time into those, and then the ones that are around you that are giving you that positive constructive criticism, that positive promotional push, and helping you to progress into a better place in life and move forward in life, then just keep them around. Sometimes, like we said, in line with families, sometimes it's our own family, like flesh and blood, that can be the negative person, and it might be a stranger that's a close friend that might be the positive person. So you might have to just drop out that family member and put more investment into that person, that friend. But as long as the end goal is they're helping you progress and be a better person, then that's the main reason, innit? That's what I feel should be the thing.
Main goal, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Drugs, Gav, any take out from this or where we're at? Well,
Nah, this is good, man.
Good little, to be honest with you, first little session that man's ever done. So yeah, it's nice. And for first topic, yeah, family. Obviously, family is one thing key. And like I will say, blood don't make your family. Do you know what I mean? That's it.
yeah. For me, I think that one things we have to look at is the things that we inherited in our own personal lives with our family, what wasn't needed, get rid. The things that benefited through us, adapt it. The principles and morals behind it, like the correction of the rod and the beating, let's adapt it to a way which we still have that same impact with the licks, but psychologically a different ways which works for different boys and girls. And I also think as well that the looking at what we can see the system's trying to do, even though we have to be in the matrix, find a kind of smart way of, red pilling our youths them and still keeping them on a blue line where they play the game, but still keep your principles and your morals and yourself about you. And I think that's where the scriptures and certain things can come into place. Like you teach them at home, like other cultures teach their children at home and they let them out in the world and they know how to play the game. And it just seems like sometimes our youths are lost in the system, like it's part of them, and we're struggling to kind of bring it back in. So for me, having family values and structures is important as long as we've got the right things in there to make it tick still.
Exactly what you said just there, like with the whole playing the game and that right there. We need to learn how to play the game more in an aspect of where we are teaching our kids how to play the game and the system, but we're not teaching them, like, I think we teach our kids too much of the negative sides of how to play in the game. We go out there and we teach them the world's going to be against you because you're black, and everything's going to be harder for you because you're black, and this, and everyone's going to be against you because you're black, which is true and that, but we also need to think of how we're saying it. Yes, the world is going to be against you because you're black, because the world expects you to be either this stereotype, but we're not from that stereotype, so the world's going to expect you to be like that way, so let's not be that way. Let's work that little bit harder, because the world's going to expect us to be lazy. The world's going to expect us to dust. The world's going to expect us to do this. And then it's doing those things there, passing on, like he says, adapting, and taking the good things that we inherited and raised us up to being the people we are today, and then giving it a whole system upgrade, and just upgrading it for the system that we're in. Just like our phones do. Our phones do a system upgrade every so often with the newest features. We got to take that, but it's still got those same old features, which is you can still call, you still can text. You get what I'm saying? They're the oldest features to go in for a phone.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? No matter whether you're on the iPhone 27 or whatever, you still can do what the first iPhone could do: phone and text.
Yeah.
So take the best features and adapt them. And like you says, taking the best features that we grew up with and adapting them for the time, and then that's how we can get better around as people, man.
Yeah. All right then, man. Yeah.
Big. Can't wait for the next one, lad. You just need to phone me, let me know what the topic is early. So
Yeah. But you're not allowed in the studio until you gather your Arsenal camp and come in. But yeah.
You said, Gav, as well. Blood is thicker than blood is thicker than water, innit? But unless the water's frozen, then it's not.
There
you go.
But Defos, that's a big line. That's a Joe store. But Ski, blessings for this, yeah.
Every time, man. You're me, man. I'm AG. Next time, if it's Arsenal, whatever, just phone me and then get involved.
Yeah. All right then. Nice one, yeah.
Yo, brothers, everybody, bless up, right?
Bless, fam.
Bless.